It's great to see such a full chapel today, and even beyond our chapel walls. Welcome, everyone. And just a word about that, because our doors are open, if you can just please be extra respectful of our artists in terms of your moving around and just little bits of noise. I know that we have our restrooms on either side there, but just to be aware of that, please. We are thrilled to have you celebrating a wonderful ensemble that really is truly singular. They bring with them a sense today of music that has, I don't know, daring, and maybe a bit of depth, and certainly a sense of cultural memory. So we are thrilled to welcome the Black Thread Ensemble, which is conceived by Dr. Lori Black, our friend, and is made up of 2 percussionists, a cellist, and accordion. Right? It's exactly what you would think in your mind, a perfect ensemble on paper. But truly a great opportunity for them to present what is freshly conceived music and a new concept too that they hope to perpetuate beyond today. So if you're looking at your program, you'll see a lot of music and you'll be like, I've never seen that piece before, and you are among the first who will ever hear it. So a thrill for all of us. If I can remind you as well, because of our series and our program, that it's important to silence your devices, if you can, and to wait till the conclusion of the piece to offer your appreciation. But without further ado, please join me in welcoming the incredible Black Thread Ensemble.
Not many instruments need to be strapped in to start. This is what bandmates are for. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here for the premiere concert of the Black Thread Ensemble. That first piece that you heard was called Scherzo alla Serva, and it is a mashup of a couple of different dance styles from two very, very different parts of the world. One is a scherzo. Many of you will be familiar with a scherzo. You might have heard a scherzo in any other concert hall. But the other one's a serva, and you might not have heard of a serva. A serva is a type of dance that is often heard with Eastern European Jewish or klezmer music. Well, I kind of live in a little bit of both worlds, as many of us do. We live in multiple musical worlds, and the whole concept of this group was that we could all come from our different musical worlds and see what happens if we put all of this together. And that first piece is an example of that. Most of this music, almost all of this music, is original, and all of it is original in this format. The first piece that you heard was based on an original tune that I wrote, a serva, and then I said, hey, this could be a scherzo. Let's see what happens. And as with many of my pieces, it kind of follows a little bit of a storyline in that if any of you have ever been to a klezmer concert, you know that they can be very, very organized, and sometimes they can go a little bit off the walls, and then the wheels might fall off and roll down another hill, and then someone comes in and starts playing a tune in another key, and you're like, hey, let's switch to that key. And that's kind of what happens in that tune. And it's a lot of fun, and it's also really, really hard, and these musicians just did an absolutely fantastic job with it. So if we just one more time, thank you all so much. So the next piece you will hear will feature just two of us, myself and our fantastic accordionist, Cooper. So now I'm going to, there's a little bit of choreography to the show, forgive me. That's why we have rehearsals. Well, now I've got to figure out what to do with the microphone. Have any of you ever heard of a doina? Do you know what a doina is? Yes, two people! That is two more than any time I've ever asked that to an audience. Thank you. A doina is a quasi-improvisatory piece that is often featured at the beginning or the end of a klezmer piece. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that these doinas really do live on their own. They can be really compositionally complex, and you can have a lot of fun with them as both a composer and performer. So I originally wrote this as a solo. And just a little bit of history here. Cooper was originally my student when I was on faculty at UCLA. And we used to play together all the time, a few times a week. And I haven't seen him, what, 2 years now?
Yeah, that's about it.
So in that time, I wrote this doina for solo vibraphone and had every intention of today playing it as a solo. And then yesterday, or 2 days ago, I don't know, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind, we kind of sat down and started noodling on it together, and I said, oh my God, thank you for finishing this piece. I didn't actually say that, but that's what was going through my head. The idea of this piece is that there are little cells, little musical cells, and that they interact with each other, and then they interact between the two instruments. And while you might not hear a melody in the sense that you certainly did in the last tune, you will hear certain melodic, we'll call it melodic fabric, little pieces, little fragments that play with each other. So without further ado, this is, we'll call it doina for vibraphone and accordion. I guess, got to rename it. So from the less esoteric to the more, no, from the more esoteric to the less esoteric. The next piece that you will hear, and I should probably leave Andres his mallets, is a violin solo. There are no violinists on this stage. One of the unique things, one of the unique challenges about being a percussionist is that any early repertoire that we want to play, from, say, mid-20th century earlier, is not written for our instrument. There's a few examples, but generally speaking, there's not a ton of solo repertoire. And so I grew up having to play a lot of violin music. And so when I started down kind of a klezmer journey, as it were, I found that there's actually a lot of this quasi-klezmer classical music. And one piece has been sitting on a shelf for a long time, Yiddish Concert, which really is, as it sounds, a kind of a classical set of variations on two very, very Yiddish tunes. And it was written originally for solo violin. And I said, hey, we have this incredible band. Why not create an accompaniment that really explores it as a band piece? So this is certainly a new version of a much older work. And again, you will hear these little elements of both classical and klezmer coming through. I realize we went a little bit out of order. The next thing that you will be hearing is proik. Proik is how many of us know the word nigun? Yeah, all right, a pretty good contingent. For those of you that don't know, a nigun or a nigun, depending on what language you're using, is a song without words, unless it has words. Sometimes it has words, sometimes it doesn't. But the general concept of the nigun is the same. And that is one of a song that is repetitive and kind of takes you to another spiritual place. Whether that's singing a nigun at the beginning of a Shabbat service where, we're trying to bring in the Shabbat neshama, or whether we are singing nigunim around a table at what's called a tish, literally a table. There are many places for this experience, but nonetheless, the idea stays the same. And so this particular nigun, proik, is it's an incredible space between what I would expect to hear from a chorale and what you expect from a nigun. It's slow and meditative and warm and thoughtful, and anytime I sing it, it's always one that's it's one that transports me. It's one that takes me to another place. And so in putting this group together, I thought that this would be a really interesting space to explore this particular nigun. So with that in mind, I give you a mallet change. This is proik. Absolutely, yeah, sure. For a slight change in the moment, a slight texture change, we have one last solo work. And I won't talk to you with my back turned, forgive me. So this last piece is, the second to last piece is a piece that is very important to me. My amazing wife, who is in the back, has heard me sing and or play this 1,001 times in different versions, but probably nothing like this, I don't think. So this piece, Unser Mut wird nicht gebrochen, is a Yiddish tune that was found in the performed in the Pithiviers concentration camp. Part of my own research and musical journey has been one of exploration of music from the concentration camps, and I find that I can get I'm constantly astonished by the range of emotion and musical breadth that came out of the concentration camps, and so I usually try to program at least one piece that has that connection on just about every concert I do. This one in particular stands out because in this particular camp, they had a chorus singing this song, and one line always stands out to me. It's in the final part of the chorus where it expresses the desire to see peace between Jew and Gentile. And I always thought that was quite profound coming out of a concentration camp. And every time I play it, it kind of, I remind myself, where is this coming from, and how does it affect me? And so, as I mentioned, that this ensemble, the idea is a little bit of Jewish music, a little bit of classical, a little bit of jazz, whatever comes together. This falls a little more into the folk, jazz, klezmer world, whatever we call that. I have arranged it for solo marimba, and I hope you enjoy it. This one always means a lot to me. These things happen. both for my hands, but also for my soul, I want to take a moment to thank these incredible musicians on the stage here. Each one of us has an awesome connection. I'm just overjoyed to be on stage with them. So, working our way across. Here on the accordion, we have my dear friend Cooper. Cooper came all the way from Los Angeles to play here with us today. Thank you. And if we're very lucky, he'll stay. Thank you. Irina and I, Irina on the cello has just yes, absolutely sounds incredible. And again, it just kind of worked out this way that each one of these wonderful individuals we've connected in different ways. Irina was on the first concert that I played when I came to Michigan from Los Angeles, where I hope you'll move. And it was such a pleasure to work with Irina again on this, so thank you again for lending your artistry to this. And then my dear, dear friend over on the far end on vibraphone. Me and Andres have been playing together since we were about 14. But this is definitely a new one for us. And so I can't thank you enough for being part of this new program. Yeah. And actually, with that in mind, in grad school, Andres and I, being the Jewish kids at USC, we would always be calling each other boy chick. And there was always a few raised eyebrows and a few that were like, oh, I see what you're doing there. And so this is actually the first song, oddly enough, the last song that you're going to hear is the first one that I wrote for this ensemble. And it is aptly titled The Boy Chick Quartet. And so just one last thank you to this incredible group. Sorry. Oh, I guess I'm Lori Black. I play percussion. Un, zwei, drei, vier. for one hora? Right on. 8, 6, 5, 8.
Join us in our awesome reception. Our guests, the Schmier family. We look forward to seeing you on July 27th for our own pianist, John Bogdan, who will be here joining us at 4 p.m. on July 27th. Thank you so much.
Очень приятно играть с тобой. Спасибо. Еще раз? Да, завтра. Не, сюда нет, я еду из Митигана завтра. Не надо вернется